For ages, the statue of Ares, son of Zeus, stood guard on the highest plateau above the great city of Sparta, keeping a watchful eye on the lands of Laconia. The Spartans lived in reverence to the god of war, as his ruthless reign remained seemingly endless. But the day would come when his rule would be challenged. Kratos, a Spartan general, would slay Ares and take his place as the new god of war amongst the rulers of Olympus. The Spartans would see him as one of their own, a true son of Sparta, and a just ruler of their great city. It wasn't long before the effigies of Ares disappeared from around the city, and in their place, statues were erected in the honor of Kratos, the new god of war.
There is much you do not know.
Your brother belongs to Thanatos.
The gods lied to me!
Be warned. They will all try to stop you.
The temple of Ares in Sparta holds the secret that will lead to your brother.
Kratos stood in the temple of Ares, was a somber reminder of who and what he had become.
We suffered because of you!
Ghost of Sparta,
A Spartan warrior never lets us back in the ground.
God slayer.
Even in death, a Spartan stands tall for battle. You are a Spartan, are you not?
And now the very person he had once despised.
Face thyself, and your fate shall be seen.
God of war.
This is all that awaits you at the end of your journey.
You cannot stop me! Nothing can!
Be to Sparta!
Kratos knew he had to return to Atlantis. Only there would he find the entrance to Death's domain.
Kratos! Help!
Forgive me.
Deimos, I will find you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to more Let's Play God of War, Ghost of Sparta, our 5th episode, and the episode where we're going to be introduced to the best weapon in the game. It won't be the best weapon right from the get-go, but investing your red orbs and upgrading it will make it the best weapon in the game.
Your weapons, my lord. I have looked after them as if they were my own.
You have served me well.
Thank you, my lord.
Sure, fans of Ragnarok are loving the fact that Kratos has yet another spear here. These are the arms of Sparta, and they are the best weapon in the game. They don't start off as the best weapon in the game, but you invest your red orbs in them, and they will become your strongest asset for the second half of the game. Truly, the arms of Sparta are fantastic. First of all, they don't have a as sophisticated a parry mechanic as the Blades of Athena. They do have a parry mechanic once you upgrade them and level them up a little bit more. But at the beginning, they don't. Their main advantage when it comes to shielding is the fact that you can actually move around while you're blocking. It's pretty great. Again, just like God of War 2018 and Ragnarok. The Arms of Sparta brings in some elements of that gameplay that's really fantastic. For this first fight, we're encouraged to try them out and use them. I don't like to use them that much because again, they're not upgraded at this point because this is not a New Game Plus run, and at the beginning, the Arms of Sparta are significantly a downgrade compared to the Blades of Athena. But again, we invest our red orbs, which is what we're going to be doing next, and you will see that it is a major investment. So, in terms of upgrading stuff, Your first major investment upgrade is going to be Blades of Athena to level 3, then Theros Bane to level 2, and now you'll see what we're going to be focusing on upgrading next. Because by the end of this video, the Arms of Sparta are going to be really, really fantastic, viable weapons for the end game. And that's going to be because we're going to make sure that we collect and invest our red orbs into the Arms of Sparta, getting them up to level 3, because by level 3, that's when they become fantastic. Obviously, if you get them up to level 5, they're even better than fantastic, but getting them up to level 3 is the minimum requirement to have, you know, a decent end game weapon that isn't just your Blades of Athena. Similar to the Chains of Olympus, having the fantastic Gauntlet of Zeus, Ghost of Sparta has the arms of Sparta, and really, really fantastic. You don't have to be in the same direction as an enemy to block an attack. Kratos will automatically just turn the direction of that attack and block it. You can't Hyperion grapple enemies while you have the Arms of Sparta. Hyperion grapple is a technique reserved only for when Kratos has the Blades of Athena equipped. So if you have the Arms of Sparta equipped, don't expect to be charging towards enemies and knocking them to the ground and doing all that fun Hyperion grapple stuff. That's something to keep in mind moving forward. This is our 10th Minotaur Horn, I believe. Yeah, 10th Minotaur Horn. So we've gone ahead and gotten our second Theros Bane upgrade there, Fire Meter upgrade. By the end of this video, we'll also have finished collecting all of the collectibles in Ghost of Sparta. There'll still be more item chests to open, but we will have gotten all of the remaining Phoenix Feathers and Minotaur Horns by the end of this video, which is also very exciting. Taking advantage of the lift, we're back in the Mountains of Aurania. So if you haven't opened that red orb chest the last time you were here, it's going to still be there. If you opened it, then it's not gonna regenerate or anything. These chests do regenerate though, so that's fun. Actually, I'm not sure if they do regenerate or just the fact that I didn't open them the last time I was here, so that's why they're still unopened, which is good for me because it's gonna help. It's gonna help because I don't do that great in this fight. Because I'm trying to use the Arms of Sparta here, but I also need to remember that they're not viable yet. It's not going to be for a little while that the Arms of Sparta are going to be the go-to weapon for the end of the game, which is what causes me to almost die in this fight. So yeah, don't try to get fancy yet with the Arms of Sparta, because they're not to the point where they're going to be super useful yet. Just do what you've been doing with the Frozen Harpies. Just grab them, kill them automatically. This isn't Chains of Olympus, so you don't have to attack them with the blades first to stun them to be able to grab them. You can just grab them. The archers in the background, obviously, you have to use the Arms of Sparta for, which is why I was trying to use the Arms of Sparta more in general, just trying to take advantage of them, but they're not ready yet for that kind of use. Anything that's glowing red like that, you can also use the Arms of Sparta spears to knock down, as I've done. Get ourselves some more health. At this point, I'm going back to show off that chest from the area where we fought all the Boreas spawn and the Frozen Harpies last time we were here. But again, like I said in the episode 3 video, if you open that chest, it's not gonna refill. It's not gonna respawn. Got ourselves some more goodies. Got ourselves another lift. This is a very transition-y episode where we're just getting from point A to point B again. Again, Ghost of Sparta's main focus is Atlantis and the island of Crete, and all the rest of the stuff is just transition-y areas to make it feel like a bigger adventure, but really, the developers were super focused on making sure that Atlantis was the biggest center point of the game. Another Dredge of Boreas, another death. Again, this is me trying to take advantage of using the Arms of Sparta, but then remembering that they're not ready to be used yet, and I shouldn't be trying to use them like they were level 3 already, because they're not, so I shouldn't be trying that. Instead, I should be focusing on using my fully upgraded Fire Meter to do more Theros Bane damage, and using my Blades of Athena to do as much damage as I can with triple triangle combos. That's what I should be doing, and that's what I do the second time, which is why I'm going to end up succeeding. There's only 2 Dredge of Boreas in the entire game. This is the second one, the last one that you'll ever fight in the entire game. They're very annoying. Remember, they have damage that you have to take. They have damage that you absolutely cannot avoid taking unless you kill them without ever doing the QTE, which is very, very difficult to do. But thanks to my upgraded Blades of Athena and such, I was able to not take that much damage that way when I did engage in the QTE. Even though I had to take some unavoidable damage, it wouldn't be enough to, you know, to doom me, to bring me down to nothing. These Dredge of Boreas and Callisto are very annoying for the fact that they have unavoidable damage that you have to take in their QTEs. Some more sidling. Again, fans of 2018 and Ragnarok, loving this, I'm sure. We're about to come up to our final magic power that we get in this game. It is the most useless of the 3 magic powers. If the Eye of Atlantis had the invincibility frames going for it, and the Scourge of Aranis had that stun mechanic going for it, the magic power that we're going to be getting next, the last one that we're going to be getting, is the most useless one in the game. It has niche use, especially in lower difficulties, and in the extras that we're going to be engaging in later, in the extras video, obviously. But aside from very niche use, this final magic power that we're going to be getting is next to useless in the main campaign, and certainly next to useless in high difficulty God mode campaign. This is the Shrine of Boreas, and we're going to be getting an ice magic power, which, again, just next to useless. And in fact, when we get into the fight where we're encouraged to try out this final magic ability, which we're going to be getting right now, it is there it is, Horn of Boreas. Now we're going to get into a fight now that encourages us to try out the Horn of Boreas, and you'll see, you know, it's something that can freeze enemies. In high difficulty playthroughs, it takes a lot to freeze enemies, so I don't even bother trying to use it. Aside from that one use to show you that it exists, it does something, but it's not something that I'm fond of using at all in God mode. And in fact, I'm just using the Scourge of Aranis here to kill all the enemies and get a very, very big combo going. And that's it. That's the last time you're going to be seeing the Horn of Boreas, though, is in that fight. Again, very, very useless. It's not something that I bother using all that much in the main playthrough at all, compared to the Eye of Atlantis and the Scourge of Aranis. It is something you'll be seeing more use out of in the extras video. Specifically, the Challenge of the Gods, it does have its niche use there for very, very specific challenges, as you'll see. We also got some lore on the god Boreas himself. Interesting, but now we're done with that and we're moving on to the next thing. Back to the main story in the Canyons of Sorrow. At least briefly back to the main story. Here's cutscene.
Be warned, Ghost of Sparta. Do not pursue this path. The gods forbid it. The gods have no power over me, Thanatos. Where is my brother? If you persist, not even the fates will prevent me from ending your path. Ares was unwise to believe you could serve him. Do not stand in my way, Thanatos. Or Ares' blood is not the only I will shed.
Okay, that was our first interaction with Thanatos, God of Death. Very, very cool to have him as our main villain for this side adventure. We also face more raids. This is our second encounter with the raids, and of course I do die a few more times here. I'm starting to show off a little bit the ultimate strategy for dealing with raids. Raids are especially vulnerable to the arms of Sparta, but not yet. the arms of Sparta, again, they're very powerful, they have great use. They are especially effective against the raids, but not yet. They're not viable just yet to use against the raids. I have to level them up first before they can be a viable tool to use with the raids. So for now, we have to engage with our first encounter strategy of just doing parries, letting them get into the ground to dive at us, doing a well-timed parry again there. If you mess up the parries, they're going to trap you in a QTE where they do unavoidable damage. It's awful. They're an awful enemy. I hate fighting them so much in this game. Raids are the absolute worst in Ghost of Sparta. Everything has to be a perfect parry, otherwise you're going to die real fast. Thankfully, this encounter only has the 3 of them, and they all come out immediately, so there aren't going to be any surprise raids that come out after dealing with this first wave. This is the only wave you have to deal with, and once you deal with them, that's it. You can see in the background, we're getting close again back to the island of Crete and the Methana volcano and Atlantis, of course. We still have quite the journey ahead of us, but we have a clear path now. Back to Atlantis, back to the Death Gate, and into the domain of death itself. But before we can do all that, we have a filler story to get through, another side story. They dedicate more time to this than they do to the loyalist of Ares thing, the dissenter thing from the previous episode, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan that they dedicate so much more time to this than they do something that was built up in the God of War comic, and something that could have been more interesting to the God of War mythos overall, these loyalists of Ares. But now, instead, we're going to be dedicating some time to an unrelated story. An unrelated story that is going to end in tragedy just because, just because we need to get through. I mean, technically the story has already ended in tragedy, but we're just gonna give it a definitive conclusion just because we happen to be heading in this direction. Which is unfortunate. So you may be wondering, if the Arms of Sparta are so useful, how come I haven't started upgrading them yet? It's because the order of operations for upgrading our weapons and stuff is going to be, oh, here we go. Gold lady. And a introduction to our side character for this whole little filler arc that we're going to be going through. Anyway, the order of operations for upgrading things is going to be Blades of Athena up to level 3, then Thera's Bane maxed out, then Blades of Athena maxed out, and then we can focus on the Arms of Sparta. The reason why I want to finish up with the Blades of Athena first is because while the Arms of Sparta are super duper useful, we don't want to completely toss aside the Blades of Athena, because the Blades of Athena are still going to have a lot of use, and we're still going to want to make sure they're as powerful as possible, and they cost a lot, so I just want to make sure I get out of the way that I get the Blades of Athena up to max level as soon as possible, because we don't necessarily need the Arms of Sparta for the end game stuff just yet, because we're not at the end game yet. So at this point, we can focus on getting our Blades of Athena up to max, and then we can focus on getting our Arms of Sparta up to max before the end game. We'll have enough time and enough red orbs to get it up to where we need it to be before we really need it. I've been trying this whole time to find ways to use the basic Arms of Sparta, and they're not ready yet. But when we get to the point of the game where we truly, desperately need to use the Arms of Sparta to get through, they will be at the power that they need to be. For now, though, I want to focus on finishing up the Blades of Athena, because they also have use, and they're also very important to have upgraded. But before all that, we have King Midas, and this whole side story to deal with. King Midas has already gotten his wish of everything he touches turns to gold. That's already backfired on him greatly, and now he's just a twisted shell of who he once was, with nothing left to live for. And he's also going to get in our way. So, I mean, we know how it ends when someone gets in Kratos' way. Not great. For now, though, ABE, always be exploring, break everything. especially in Ghost of Sparta. Again, you don't get that many red orbs from the chests and the breakables. It's all going to come down to using Hyperion grapples to really boost that number up. You see the aftermath of King Midas's magic all over the place here, frozen people. Very simple little puzzle room. Makes you think that this area probably should have had like an enemy or two to attack Kratos. I don't know why it doesn't. Again, PSP title, side game. I don't know. But it is nice in a God of War game to have some downtime, some quiet areas where things aren't as high stakes as they're going to be later on. These spiders I could have dealt with close, but they're annoying. They have that annoying range attack, so just showing off the arms of Sparta what it can do. Again, it's going to be much better later on once we start upgrading it, but even at its base level, it does have some use. Not a ton of use, but it does have some use. Go ahead and do a nice little double jump there to get to this. Only one more Phoenix Feather to go. That's good. More breakables, and I think now we're going to come up to a cutscene with King Midas. So here we go.
Stay away! Stay away! I'm cursed. Stay away! Don't you see? Everything I touch. Gold. Midas. I didn't mean to. I thought... How could I know that she would... Oh, my daughter. My beautiful little girl. Mistakes. Am I in Hades? I must be. Finally, I know what I must do.
Yeah, dedicating a lot of our time to this guy in this side story. Not my favorite thing about Ghost of Sparta, but it is what it is. It's not the worst thing. We're at the River of Lament now. We're about to get our 4th relic. Again, the Ambrosia of Aphrodite's Ambrosia was the most complicated relic to get. Every single other relic that we've come across in this game has been basically in our way. Athena's owl was kind of hidden from us when after that cutscene with Athena in episode 2. But this particular relic that we're going to come up to now is it's very, very straightforward to get because it's going to be right in our path. Most of the relics in the game are right in our path and very, very difficult to miss. We'll see, of course, that Midas was able to freeze lava. That's going to be very helpful to us soon. And there is our 4th relic, the King's Ring. Gonna go ahead and take a look at it. To like 10 times the amount of red orbs. They all, again, all the relics have uses that we're going to be showing off in the extras video. I can't actually use them in the main playthrough right now because if you don't pick a New Game Plus playthrough, then you're not allowed to use the relics. So I can't. But in the extras video, we'll be seeing what all the relics do. Only 2 more left, but there's only 1 more that we can get in the main playthrough. One of the last relic, the 6th relic, is something that we can only get through one of the extra modes in Ghost of Sparta. So we'll keep an eye out for that in the extras video. For now, though, collecting more red orbs, arming ourselves, and getting ready for after we get past this whole thing with Midas, because obviously this isn't the main plot. This is just a little side filler thing to fill in some time. I guess just because Ready Dawn Studios didn't want to make Ghost of Sparta as short as Chains of Olympus, which makes sense. You went through all the effort to make the game so much better looking than Chains of Olympus. You should go through the effort of making it a little bit longer too. Unfortunately, I think they could have found other ways to make the game longer without adding in this this King Midas subplot here. You could have done even more with Atlantis. You could have done more with Sparta, more with the Loyalists, with the Loyalists of Ares story. Those are ways I think you could have extended out the plot of Ghost of Sparta, as opposed to introducing King Midas at the 11th hour before we jump back into the main story. But that's just my opinion. I mean, truly, Ghost of Sparta is a great game anyway, so obviously it worked out, even though this King Midas thing is pretty weird to have here. Just introduced so bluntly and so randomly here. After everything we've done and everything we're going to be doing, it feels very, very off, but, you know, again, what do I know? Probably some kind of mandate to introduce a certain amount of myth characters that they didn't meet initially that, you know, just necessitated the need to bring in King Midas. A lot of hoplites here, but they're all armored. They're all very easy to deal with. It's just instilling fire cores, letting them blow up, doing Hyperion grapples when it's safe, parry when you can. Very, very straightforward stuff. The game does kind of lag with the whole King Midas situation, getting back to Atlantis where the real meat of the story is again, but it's not the worst thing. It's nice to have, again, as I said before, it's nice having some downtime. It's a nice little in-joke, by the way. There's a trophy here. You try to open this thing for like longer than a minute. You can't ever open that gold chest. It's just an in-joke by the developers. You know, King Midas froze that chest, so that's impossible to open. Just a fun little thing there. A nice setup for it too, because there's a lot of gold stuff on your way to that gold chest. So it already trains you to know that you're not going to be able to interact with that gold chest. But still, just because it's a chest and you want to find out what's inside of it, you're going to try to open it anyway. And the fact there's a circle prompt leads you to believe that, oh, maybe I can open this, but nope, yeah, you can't. So it's very fun. These are a new variant of hoplites that we're dealing with right now. These are hopping hoplites. I call them hoppers. Hopper hoplites. These are hoplites that don't charge at you. They hop at you. You can parry their hops, but I don't think you can block them. You do take damage from just blocking them. So either roll out of the way or parry those jumps, and you can deal with them. They have less health than regular hoplites, but they do just as much damage, and they're just as annoying, but for different reasons. We almost have enough red orbs to finish upgrading our Blades of Athena, which is great, because then we can shift focus over to the Arms of Sparta and make them truly excellent, viable endgame weapons that are really gonna change the way that we're playing this game. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and get the Blades of Athena up to level 4, which is the max final level. Usually things go up to level 5, but in this case it's level 4 for the max. And now we can finally shift our focus to the Arms of Sparta. Yeah, I said earlier that you can get Arms of Sparta to level 5. It's level 4. Level 4 is the maximum. Make sure to climb this rope all the way to the top and not just to that cave entrance. Because you're going to get another item chest here with a lot of red orbs that are going to let you start upgrading the Arms of Sparta immediately. which again is great because we need to get the Arms of Sparta up to level 3 to make them super viable and super amazing for the end game. Thousands of red orbs in that item chest, which is great because now we have enough to really invest and start making the Arms of Sparta very viable. All the attacks there are fine. We get parries. We have increased damage, which is always good. The thing that we're really looking for, though, is level 3 Arms of Sparta. Because at level 3 Arms of Sparta, we're going to get an ability that is really going to change how we play the game from here on out. It's not going to make it easy, but it's definitely going to make it easier. It's going to be it's this game's big game changer, game changer ability. Before all that, though, it's time to not be able to climb a lava waterfall. Oh geez, how are we gonna get past that? It's lava. I mean, we can't touch it. Oh, but this guy can. King Midas. Perfect. It's a good thing he's here. All right. Well, I mean, he doesn't really have a reason to live anyway, so we're just gonna go ahead and take advantage of that. This whole King Midas minigame is very simple. You're just going to go ahead and do a very simple QTE to grab him and start dragging him towards the lava waterfall. Hounds are going to try and stop you. I believe there's only 2 or 3 waves of them before they just stop spawning completely, and they only spawn after you walk a certain distance with King Midas. So it's not a situation where you're dealing with hounds infinitely or anything like that. So don't worry about that. Remember, with hounds, you don't want to use the Hyperion grapple on them. You want to make sure that it's all regular grabs to have the most invincibility frames possible in the highest difficulty. And yeah, seeing this, once you walk a certain distance with King Midas, that's when the hounds start showing up. So go ahead and deal with them. There's only I think this is actually the last wave of hounds. There's no more after this. So go ahead and deal with him. Midas is going to crawl away, but it's fine. We'll get to him. He'll be dealt with. We will use him as intended. King Midas himself is going to struggle after walking with him a certain distance. He's not willing, even though he doesn't have much to live for. After a certain while, he is going to try to turn you to gold again. So just do the same exact QTE you did before and just keep going. That's the end of King Midas and the end of this little filler story here. Perfect. Excellent. Not as naturally or well integrated as the mythical heroes and figures from God of War 2, but still pretty good. Not the worst thing. Not the worst thing that it could have been. And it's already over, so that's great. Moving on now. Now we can finally get back on track and make our way towards Atlantis. Quick save point here. Very good stuff. I get why people weren't so hot on Ghost of Sparta as compared to the other titles. There's a lot of downtime in this one, not as much as there will be in like Ascension, but there's plenty of downtime in this one, and some random filler stuff that probably wasn't the focus that Ready Dawn Studios should have taken with this particular story. But as usual, Terrence C. Carson, who voices Kratos. Great job, especially in this one when there's a lot more emotion and stuff to deal with and confront, since this is a very, very personal adventure for him. Not that the other adventures weren't personal, but this one is personal from the get-go. You know, Kratos didn't realize the Chains of Olympus thing was going to lead to Persephone to Calliope until it actually did. He was kind of on autopilot by the time we got to Athens and Pandora's Temple and all that stuff. But you know, here he actually has hope of something better when this is all done. Not just something that will make him feel better, but something that will actually benefit someone else. You know, if he can find his brother and save him, then that's a net positive just for his family in general. But before all that, though, we have our penultimate fight of the video, which is just going to be some more archers and hop and hoplites. Archers easily dispatched. Again, always be doing Hyperion grapples in this game because you want to get the maximum amount of red orbs possible. In this case, it's especially important to do that because I'm very, very close to the amount of red orbs necessary to upgrade my Arms of Sparta to level 3, which again is going to make them super, super viable. Remember, you can do Hyperion grapples from the air or from the ground, so as long as they're Hyperion grappling enemies, just it's always a good thing. All those juicy, juicy extra red orbs for you. By the end of this fight, I will find I do have enough red orbs now to upgrade my Arms of Sparta to level 3, which is perfect because we're almost at the end game now. And having my Arms of Sparta ready for that is going to be an extreme game changer that is really gonna improve the situation a lot. Alright. Now let's go ahead and finally upgrade our Arms of Sparta to level 3, as I've been hyping up this whole time. The thing that we most want in all the world is Rapid Spear Assault, that first thing that we get for Arms of Sparta level 3 aside from the increased damage. Rapid Spear Assault allows us to throw our spears really, really fast, and because we're at level 3 Arms of Sparta, our spears are already very powerful. So not only are our spears very powerful, we also have a very, very fast projectile. This is the game changer that makes the rest of Ghost of Sparta not easy, but easier and more manageable. And here you can already see it. Here you can already see it in action. It only takes a few spears to take out those archers, and I threw them so quickly. This is why you want Arms of Sparta level 3 as soon as possible, after maxing out your Blades of Athena. So the order of operations is Blades of Athena level 3, Theros Bane maxed out, Blades of Athena maxed out, and then the Arms of Sparta to level 3. Those are the 4 important things you have to do to upgrade your Kratos in a God mode Ghost of Sparta playthrough in order to make the end game again not easy but easier. And now that we've reached it, everything else is just extra. I'm still going to be upgrading everything by the end of the game, but everything else at this point is extra. I don't technically need anything else. Having increased damage from my spear is going to be good. Having my magic be at its most powerful is going to be good, but not necessary. Everything else I upgrade from this point onward is just extra, you know, cherries on top of the power sundae that I've made for myself. As long as you have your Blades of Athena maxed out, your Theros Bane maxed out, and your Arms of Sparta to at least level 3, then you're going to be good for the rest of the game. And you're going to see why in this next encounter we're going to have. An encounter that normally would have been pretty complicated, would have taken a while. It's still going to kick my ass a little bit, but with Arms of Sparta level 3, it's going to be a lot easier to deal with. This encounter is all Firebirds, Harplings, whatever you want to call them, and Cyclopes. I think like 3 Cyclopes and a whole bunch of Firebirds. It's very annoying. It's still annoying, even with the Arms of Sparta. Again, it doesn't make the game easy, it just makes it easier. But as you see, once I deal with the with the annoying firebirds here. Things are going to be pretty manageable afterwards. Unfortunately, this is yet another arena that it isn't small, but it does suffer from the awkward camera angle situation. But now with the firebirds dealt with, I can just hurl spears and just watch how quickly I can kill these Cyclopes with these spears. Yeah, a minor video hiccup, unfortunately. We're getting to the point of the game now where it's going to be a lot of video hiccups, unfortunately, because the whole Atlantis section really kicked the crap out of my recording device, unfortunately. But it doesn't change the fact that this fight is a lot easier and a lot quicker and a lot more manageable thanks to the fact that I have level 3 Arms of Sparta. I mean, that Cyclope is already ready for another QTE at that point. It only took a few spears. It only took a few spears to get him to the point where he was weak enough for that. And look at that, he's already ready to. This Cyclops is already ready to die. That's why you want the Arms of Sparta at level 3 as soon as possible, because it makes most enemies. Most of the enemies are extremely vulnerable to Arms of Sparta level 3, Rapid Spear Assault. Most enemies can't handle the Rapid Spear Assault at all. I mean, the Cyclops is already dead. It's incredible. You want to get the Arms of Sparta level 3 as soon as possible for this. And preferably before you reach Atlantis, because that way you'll be ready for the end game. That said, we're almost at the end of the video now, so I hope you enjoyed. Before we end, we're going to go ahead and collect the last collectible of the game, the last Minotaur Horn. The last Minotaur Horn is right down here, so yeah. We're ready for the end game now, fully powered up. The things that we wanted upgraded are upgraded. Again, we're going to finish by upgrading everything before the end of the game, but everything we needed to have upgraded is upgraded. We have all the collectibles, so full health, full magic, full fire meter. We are ready for our return to Atlantis. Before we get there, though, we have a few more harpies with some soldiers backing us up. Similar to the beginning of the game, you can kill the soldiers too. They not only give you health, but they give you red orbs, so it's worth your time to kill them just as you would the harpies. And that's it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all next time for when we make our return to Atlantis. We're going to go ahead and lower this bridge. We're going to get on this boat, and we're heading back to the scene of our destroyed city. Goodbye.
Kratos knew that deep within the raging abyss lay the answer to a question he was not yet prepared to ask. Was Deimos still alive?